Hey everybody. Well, you can see we're back here in our shop. Got my work clothes on. And I'm surrounded by station wagon parts. Where we left off last time, we brought the wagon in, Amanda's wagon. And we talked about taking it down to metal. So we'll pick up right where we left off and with an update here. And we've been working on the wagon a little bit, getting that body down to metal. And I've been pulling out some of the parts and some of the parts I've accumulated here in the last little bit. Picked up another hatch and another tailgate for it for parts. Our hinges were shot on that one. I was going to have to buy hinges, and luckily our friend Hot Rod Ted there hooked us up with a set and a few other goodies for this car, so we can get going on it and get going on that rear end. I really want to get the rear end straightened out, get tailgate and hatch back on it, and then move forward with the body work. I've got it sitting over here behind me. I was able to get down to metal, and let me tell you, I saved y'all the boredom of watching me just sand that thing down over the course of 3 days it took to get that thing down to metal. That paint that they had on that thing was just, well, probably the closest thing you could get to concrete. But we got it off. I didn't use strippers. I had debated on using stripper, but after doing it manually, I don't think stripper would have done anything. It probably would have took off some of it, but it wouldn't achieve what we really wanted to get here right out the gate. I think it would have just in the long run made more of a mess because of what was on that car, which I have no idea what was on it. So yeah, we just went at it with angle grinder, a DeWalt DA, corded DA, and a palm sander. Angle grinder with wire brush on it. That worked out pretty good for certain areas of the body. I've got 95% of it down to metal, I guess. I didn't do the firewall yet. I didn't do the bottom rockers because it's just going to be, for what rockers for the car cost and the back splash pan, I'll just replace them, because the time I spend trying to patch them up and all that, like I said, as cheap as they are, I could just replace them, save a lot of time, a lot of headache. So that's where we'll go with it. So let's take a look at this wagon here and see what we got. So as you can see, this car's got good bones. When we bought this car, we picked this car up out of northern Indiana. The guy I talked to, I've been talking to him for about a week or so. He had told us that he had this car brought in from New Mexico. Now, obviously, I know a little thing or two about Indiana. I've been there many times, and cars up there are rusty all over the place, for the most part, unless they've been put up. So we went up there anyway, going on based on what the guy had told me. I took some magnets and other things, to, look and test the best I could, and I decided that, yeah, this car is decently solid. After taking all the paint down, this car is actually amazingly solid. This roof on this thing is good shape. The body panels, as you can see, all over, it's nice metal. It's good looking metal. Not going to be any issues here with the metal as a whole. These door windows, look at this. This is great. This is a really solid car. Now, it has its problems. Anywhere water could got in, it did get in, done a little bit of damage, like you can see right here. Places like this we'll have to fix. In the glass trays here, you can see there's some decay and rot, but I mean, this is not bad. This is not bad. The roof is major. The roof is in great shape. I still got, I'm going to run this over with a paint removal wheel on an angle grinder and burn the rest of this off, and then we'll start on that and get that in epoxy primer or some type of primer. And you can see here, the quarter panel here, there's some, it's going to be hard to see on camera, but there is some places. This quarter has had some work done to it at one time. It's been hit probably somewhere right in here. Took some kind of blow. Whoever done this body work and however long ago they did it, they did a good job. I mean, obviously we're gonna have to put some filler in this to get it all back straight. And you can rub your hand over it and you can just feel it. Where you can't really see it, you can feel it. So I'll be the first and foremost to tell you, I'm not a body guy. So we're going to wing this and try it. You know, I don't know. We're going to see how it goes. I like patinas and rat rods, and this is why, because I'm not the best body guy in the world. But this is a long-term project, so we're going to, we'll try it. Hey, if it don't work out, we'll go a different direction. We'll back up and punt and try again. But, you know, hey, that's what it's all about, so we're going to go from there. Now, this quarter here, see this? We're going to have to address that. A dent right here. Pretty good dent right here. We're going to have to address. And then this right here will have to be filled. This is where the body actually comes together. Over here, on this side, oh, this looks... Now, I had already been working on this car prior to taking the paint off of it and prior to putting it on the channel. Because I actually started working on this car last year, before I started this channel. And we pulled off of this because this is such a big project. We pulled off of it. I had the 60. We wanted to get it done because it was way farther along. I mean, there's nowhere near the amount of work that this needs. So I'd already started doing some work up in here, and making and patching certain places and working these back ends right here. This quarter here is about like the other one, but it had some damage here. This had been hit and somebody's worked that out. They done a pretty good job with it. It's not bad, but it's got places. You know, there's a dent, dent, dent. And you may not be able to see these on camera, but trust me, they're there. So we're going to try to work all them out. We got to do some finish work in here. All this was eat out and decayed and gone. And this one has come loose from the inner fender also. Look at that. Going forward, from this point, we're going to get these quarters where they're, you know, stable and supported by the inner fenders. We'll fix all that. That'll be for probably the next video going forward on the wagon. And this side is just as good as the other side. I mean, both sides of this body's in really good shape. I'm really pleased. I'm really pleased with the way that the body looks after getting all that paint. Because you don't never know. You start digging into that paint and you start digging out Bondo spots and everything else, craters, holes. We didn't really get a lot of that. The doors have some places in them down at the bottom where the water had settled, but not bad. Like, there's a little place starting here and here on this door, but it's solid. I can fix that right now without having to cut and weld. Right here we've got some issue. Probably cut this section out, roll a piece on the old English wheel, weld her in. Fixed, no problem. Got some patch panels we're going to make back here in the corner and address this dent. That stuff shouldn't be bad. These doors over here, this one's solid at the bottom. This is by far the worst door we have right here. As you can see, it's got some problems. It's decayed all the way across. Water's got in there and set, and it's just rusted it out. But it's still cleaned up pretty good. Like I said, we'll do the same over here. I'll cut a skin of sheet metal and roll it in English wheel. We'll get the contour right, weld it in. This door will be good. Once we get that metal work, then starts the fun stuff, the Bondo that I'm not even good with. And yeah, we'll see what goes there. But for now, that's where we're at with this one. Now, as you notice, I've got it pushed towards the front of the garage here. I've been running it outside to sand it. Don't sand it in here. It's just too much of a mess. But behind it on the lift, this Bronco that I've been talking about, we finally have it in here now. I've got the hood up on it. We're gonna run both of these builds kindly simultaneously, I guess. You know, we did a lot of that with the 60 and Bubba's Thunderbird. We'll do that with these two. I'll have a video, you know, where we secure the quarter panels on the wagon, and then in the middle of all that you'll see the videos on this Bronco. Now let's get into this Bronco a little bit. So let's talk a little bit about this Bronco. I've not really shown it on the channel yet. It's been sitting outside my garage. Now that it's in here and we're fixing to start on it, let's talk a little bit about it, where it came from, what it is. This is a 1986 Ford full-size Bronco. This Bronco has the 351 5.8 liter. Most of them were 302s, I guess. I've been told that the 351 was not as common, but they were out there. This one is the last year for carbureted, if I'm not mistaken. I have to get with a couple of my other Ford buddies on that to make sure of that, but I'm pretty sure this is probably the last year that Ford done an actual carburetor before they went to throttle body or, you know, fuel injection. This Bronco, give you a little backstory on it first. I got this Bronco from a friend of mine I work with, and his uncle bought this new in '86, and he acquired it. His uncle unfortunately passed away, and he bought it, you know, from his aunt, or, you know, however he got it. The Bronco was bought new here local. It's got 84,000 original miles. Now this Bronco runs. I can, you know, put a little gas to it and she'll fire up and idle. There's problems. It's been sitting a long time. I had, actually, when we pulled it in, me and Bubba throwed some hot juice to it and a little shot of courage, and we got it to fire for a split second. I've got carburetor and stuff ordered. Things we know about this Bronco. 1, we know the motor will run. 2, we know that the water pump's bad, the carburetor's bad, well, stopped up anyway. We know that it needs like a full-on tune-up. It needs battery, and it needs battery wires. Cool thing about this is I purchased this from him. He already had a water pump brand new in the truck for me, carburetor rebuild kit, a new starter solenoid. So we had those parts. He had already put this master cylinder on here. The thing about this is the truck is not getting fluid to the brakes, so we know that. It's got to have brake work. It's got to have minor engine work. And overall, the body, this is a rust-free truck, mind you. It's a rust-free truck. There's a little bit of rust setting up in places where it's been sitting, but it's basically just sun-baked. This is 4-wheel drive. Everything on the inside of this truck works. The dome lights work, the radio works, everything. But the sun has wreaked havoc on it. The only rust issues that we have are right over here. And you can see I've got bolts sticking out of them. And you have molding through here. And the rain got in. And it sit. And it caused these two places and these two places here, and a bad place here that's setting up, but there's no hole. It's still solid. That can be treated and fixed without any cut work. But these holes here, we're going to fill them. And you say, well, why you got bolts sticking out of it? Well, I've been debating, kicking around the idea, instead of cutting this panel out like I normally would and welding in a piece of 18 gauge sheet metal, these holes are, you can see the size of this bolt. That hole is literally that big. So my thought process on this is, and it may be wrong and you can tell me if it is, but I've never done this before, but I'm really seriously thinking about cutting maybe about that much and running in here to where it just barely sticks through and tack welding this on all the way around the perimeter, cutting this off, over welding it and then grinding it back off smooth. I think it might save a little time. This is good metal, so metal's metal. I think that you know, if we take our time and weld it in small increments here and there, let the metal cool and work it a little bit with a body hammer, I think we can keep this straight. I think we can save ourselves a lot of time, you know, aside of just cutting a strip out. I don't, you know, probably I would cut a section here at least this big and weld a patch in here. You come into here, down along this line here, up, and cut that completely out, and probably go up in here and do something here. But this right here is not really bad. It's still solid. We can treat this, clean this up, treat this, put a little filler over it, be fine. Filler. This is the only rust on the whole truck. It's amazing. It's the only rust on the whole truck. As you can see, the paint is baked off this thing, the clear coat. This is the bad side. The other side's not near as bad. But as you can see, this truck was black. And if you look down the side of this truck, it's straight as an arrow. I can't find any real dents. I can't find any real body damage anywhere in this truck. The chrome on this truck is in great shape. The bumpers are not bent. Neither the front nor the back bumpers are bent. The grill is still really good shape. The bezels could use a little paint and they're in good shape. The grill is showing a little bit of wear in the corners and stuff from the sun, but it's totally runnable. It's not bad. I mean, once we get the truck painted and it turns out, and you know, you're like, well, you may go back then, maybe want to change the grill, maybe not. It can be run just as it is. Clean up real nice. I mean, it won't be new again, but it'll be nice. The bumpers will clean up good. You can see this side is in a lot better shape paint-wise than the other side. The inside of the truck, pretty clean. It's sunbaked. The inside's no exception to the body, but it's there. Everything is there. She needs a console, maybe a headliner, maybe a dash cap, maybe re-dye the seats. That's Amanda's job, so I don't know what she's going to do there, but I'm sure she'll make it beautiful. Now people may say, what are you doing with a Bronco? You're long and low. Well, we're going big and tall for this one because, as I've said many times before, I like a different variety of vehicles. I like all kinds. I can find one in every brand, every make. I really like these Broncos. I've always liked these Broncos. You can find them out there. A lot of times they're clapped out, rusted out, running the ground. It's rare that you find one in this good a condition, rust-free, with a straight body. So I thought, man, I gotta pick this up because I'll never find another one. But I'm glad to have it in here now. This is going to be a pretty quick project. It's not going to be ongoing. Plans for this project include getting that motor running. We're going to get it running really good. AC fixed on it. We'll make a daily driver out of it. Get the paint fixed. Fix those 3 little patches over there. She's going to go in, do her magic on the inside. We're going to make this a really clean, stock, daily truck. We want to get out and drive this truck. We want to take it to the mountains. I know I want to take the top off of it. That's the biggest reason I bought it, so I can take the top off of it. But that's the plans with this one. You know, a little bit more work, a little bit of body work. So the overall goal with this truck is to get that motor running sound. 84,000 miles, I don't expect many surprises. We're going to do the body, get it painted. We'll do that here. I'm not a painter. We're going to do the best we can. We're going to let her go inside and do what she does on the inside and clean this thing up real good, maybe re-dye the seats and stuff like that. But this is basically just a big makeover, really. This truck is in exquisitely good shape. I mean, if you don't believe me, watch me close this door right here. Look at that. You you can't beat that. 1986. So that's our plan. This is basically just a great big makeover on this one. I fully expect and intend to have it up and running by the spring. So uh, when car show season comes back around, you know, we'll be doing some videos driving this baby around through car shows. I'm looking really forward to that. I love these trucks. You've seen me feature several Ford guys on my channel that build Fords, and they're a Ford 100%. Bubba's 100% Ford. I go all different directions. I like what catches my eye, and that's why, you know, I acquired this. I've always loved these things. I love Tri-5s, and of course with Cadillac and 60, and those are just cars that I like. I'm not brand specific. So let's jump in on this. We're going to start on this today. We're going to let the we're going to put the wagon on the simmer pot for a little while and let it simmer. And the next time we're out here, we'll start on the wagon a little bit and see if we can get them quarters going after we get this engine running and get these holes plugged on the side of this Bronco. So let's get into it.